Joining me today is Drew Heideman with the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute, where you're an athletic trainer and a physical therapist. And in addition to that, you also are a triathlete.
Yes.
Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks,
so tell me a little bit about how you got started down this road of participating in Ironman triathlons.
I grew up as a swimmer, and once I got into college, I kind of let myself go, and I burned out of swimming a little bit. And after a couple of years being involved with the athletic training program at UNF, I really felt that I needed to get back into sports. And I always kind of seen triathlon growing up and been real intrigued by the Ironman distance and wanted to get back to doing that.
Well, it seems like a lot of times, I know in talking to athletes, that I guess your swimming background had to help you a lot. A lot of people say that's the most difficult thing.
Yeah, exactly. Swimming, hinders a lot of people from becoming involved in triathlon. So, growing up a swimmer, that's the easy part for me. Unfortunately for me, swimming is the smallest part of the triathlon, so it doesn't help me as much as, if I was a runner or a cyclist growing up.
So when you were, what age did you start swimming?
I've swam competitively since the age of 8, all the way through high school.
So you grew up around that.
Yeah, I grew up in the pool, 2-a-days from the age of, 12, 13, all the way through.
So tell me, you said you maybe put on a few pounds and, intrigued by how do you go from putting on a few pounds, swimming background, did you just start running?
Yeah, essentially. I remember specifically one run back in college when the loop at UNF, we used to call it. I think it's about 2.5 miles around the campus there. I couldn't do it. Couldn't run 2 miles around campus without stopping. This was in college. I was probably 19, running with a buddy, and couldn't do it.
Wow. So is that what you said? Hey, I got to do something here.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, hey, I got to do something. Where's my fitness gone? It was humbling.
Yeah. So from there, did you just start running then regularly? Is that?
Yeah. So signed up for my first triathlon. I wanted to challenge.
So you signed up then?
Yeah, I signed up. Probably within the few weeks after that. And this is something I'm going to do.
You could run 2.5 miles. Mm-hmm. And so when was that triathlon?
That was in my junior year of school.
But how far away from the
probably, I'd say 4 months. Yeah, I gave myself a reasonable time to get ready.
So what was it like when you were in that first Ironman? Did you get at some point in that thought, what am I got myself into? Yeah. Or did you pretty much get through it okay?
Yeah, I remember a specific point, probably 75 miles into the bike. And it was just a bad place. I was in a bad place and thinking, I still got 40 miles to ride, and then I got to get off and run farther than I've ever run in my life. How am I going to get this done? And those moments they come to this day. 8 Ironmans in now, and they come and they pass. And that's what I like about.
Well,
sport.
I guess at that point some mental fortitude kicks in. How much of this is mental?
Yeah, the mentality is a huge part. It's going to hurt. It's going to be difficult, and that's what you kind of have to settle in on. And when those bad patches come, you know that a good patch is around the corner.
So how long did it take you for that first?
My first Ironman, I think I was 10 hours and 52 minutes.
In terms of time, most people say, hey, I'd just like to finish. There are probably some people finishing much longer. I guess there were people, say an elite triathlete today, what will they finish an Ironman?
An elite amateur, like me, is 9 to 10 hours.
So you finished your first one in under 11?
Yes, in under 11, yeah. And now my best time is 9 hours and 8 minutes at Ironman Florida last year.
I know in the scheme of things, when just sitting here thinking about it, that's really a lot of time to shave off. An hour's a long time, a lot.
Right, yeah, a lot. It's amazing, the little things can kind of add up to big gains. Training right, using the right equipment, but they really pays off in the end.
So you were 19, the first one?
No, sorry. The first Ironman I did was much later. The very first triathlon I did was much shorter than that.
Was much shorter, okay.
Yeah, an Olympic distance race. That's about a 2-hour race. My first Ironman would have been 29. 29.
And you said you're 35 now. I'm not, beating you up about your age here,
fine.
But you trimmed off, quite a bit of time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, my age, I'm not embarrassed of it. They write it on our leg at every race. So, but yeah, I've trimmed, I've gotten it down to where I'm pretty competitive at that distance now.
And I guess in the scheme of things for people watching, and even for me, I mean, I run, or I'm going to say I jog, but there's a lot of people competing in these Ironmans, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. The sport is really growing, especially at the Ironman distance. At Ironman Florida, just a couple weeks ago that I competed in, there was about 3,000 people there.
So do you have any desire to do any of these ultra marathons or anything like over and above an Ironman?
Not really. The long distance running doesn't do it for me. I have plenty of friends that have been involved in that, but for me in particular, I'd rather get better at Ironman than take on these other ventures.
Well, good luck in your upcoming races, and of course at Jacksonville Orthopedic. I mean, obviously you're doing more than helping keep people in the game. You're in the game yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks.